So let's start this out like we used to do back in the day. What is the stakes of this fight? Well, as we know, Terrence Crawford, the undisputed super middleweight title is indeed on the line. Yes, indeed, every belt, including the lineal championship, Legacy, the man who beat the man, who beat the man, who beat the man, all the way going back up until the first champion in this division. It lays on the shoulders, the very broad and stocky shoulders of Canelo Alvarez. It is the goal of Crawford to try to take this claim and make history. If this did go in the way of Crawford getting this win, this would be, in totality, one of the greatest wins we've ever seen, not just in the sport, in the sport of boxing. It would be one of the greatest wins we've ever seen. Genuinely, going naked from 130, starting at 135, reigning at becoming champion there, moving up, becoming undisputed at 147, having one fight at 154, beating Madrigal, becoming champion there, then immediately jumping up from 154 to 168 to fight who is currently still in his prime, Canelo. Though it's at tail end, still in his prime. If he did pull this off, like I said yesterday, this would be one of the craziest things we've ever seen. If he knocked him out, would be even more preposterous and would go beyond the scope of just the boxing landscape. This would be one of the greatest wins we've seen in sports history. No doubt, the greatest win of his career. And he would have three roads of avenues to do. He could either, A, retire right afterwards, call it quits. It's a phenomenal career. I conquered boxing. I did what I needed to do. I'm gone, undefeated, 42-0. And he walks away as one of the greatest we've ever seen. If he wins and continues to fighting, could go back down to 154 and look to become a 4-time undisputed champion by going through that division. Or he could stay at 168 if he so chooses and try to reign at this division. Is it likely? No. That option probably ain't likely. But it's on the table nonetheless of where it could go. He's got ways, ebbs and flows, movements and opportunities that he can do with this fight. Canelo, on the other hand, if he did beat Crawford, it would be another quality notch in the long-standing career of one of the greatest boxers we have in the modern day of this era. Genuinely. Improved his record to what, 63-2? Yeah, it was 63-2-1, something along those lines. Would, again, stamp his claim as being undisputed champion, again, reigning with multiple defenses of that title. Would have cleaned out all of the competition at 168 again. He still got Christian and Billy, sure. You got Chavez, absolutely. But in terms of right now, hey, it would be, boom, the brother did what we thought he was going to do and did it against a good talent. So it would be an incredibly great win. It would not be something that we would take away. Let's be clear about it. Though it's work that you should be able to handle, it is still work that is quality to handle. So that's why this wouldn't, we ain't gonna sit here and say, oh, it's a bum, oh, it's trash, oh, we don't value that win. No, we will. We absolutely will. At least I will. Maybe I can't speak for y'all, but I will. And then on the flips, or as we go forward into the ramifications of if he wins, by knockout or decision, it would not just make him reigning undisputed champion. It would also cause for a plethora of avenues to be opened for Canelo. Either A, he can retire. Most likely unlikely, but still, he could do it. B, he fights Shiraz or Christian and Billy at 168. Boom. And after those two fights, just continues to stay at the division. And doesn't really do anything. But rather, just keeps on reigning. Or, could be a situation where we finally get to fight with David Benavidez. Yes, indeed. Yes, the big kahuna. The big absolute spectacle of Mexican on Mexican warfare, which would be the best situation possible. Most likely at 175, with Benavidez reigning as the current champion at 175. One of the belt holders at this division, with Bivol being the other. Now, Bivol and Benavidez out recovering from surgery. Okay, Benavidez tied up with somebody. If we see Benavidez be in the yard, after we potentially see Canelo beat Crawford, who's to say there may be an opportunity, a window of time with the hype train going oh so high that fight couldn't happen potentially at 175, which Benavidez says if it did happen, it would need to happen up there because he ain't moving back down. Those are three things that could happen. So there is a lot at stake from the sense of what could go through. The trajectory of which for Canelo, if he does win this fight, would be, again, still solidifying his claim as one of the best of this era. Excuse me, the best, most likely outright boxer of this era from the standpoint of accolades, acclaim, resume, whatnot. Absolutely. Crawford beats Canelo, conversation changes a little bit. He might just take that title outright for this era. He genuinely could. Genuinely, probably he would. If Canelo lost to Crawford, but I tell you what, that would lead to a road of despair when it comes to his ability to get and overtake the likes of Julio Cesar Chavez and or Salvador Sanchez, depending on who you have as the greatest Mexican boxer of all time, which he has admitted is the ghost that he is chasing. If he did lose this fight, I guarantee you, almost assured, the people of Mexico would not ever let him be able to reach that zenith of being above those other greats. Experts as well probably would not be able to put him above those greats. And he will be potentially forever capped unless he went on an absolutely insane run and or went and fought David Benavidez and beat him. That would probably be the only way. And even now, without fighting David Benavidez, that's one of the biggest things that's holding him back from being able to go and beat the likes of legacy of Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, best Mexican to ever step in the ring. If he loses this fight, he probably doesn't get that title. And the chase ends. If he does win, okay, the run continues. And the chase still lingers. Oh, and for Crawford, if he loses this fight, yes, it would be, man, you lost, especially if he got knocked out. However, because of the understanding of him coming up so drastically to fight Canelo, and most people saying, yeah, most likely Canelo, if he was going to win, would win. It would win by KO against him because you're small. But the blow wouldn't be as detrimental, though, again, it would still be a loss. And as you know in boxing, a loss would be hard. Absolutely terrible, as we've seen with others. But that's what's at stake.